What is up, you gorgeous, fabulous creatures? You're here with Kylie Pax, Australia's emotional eating coach. And today we are talking about what to do when you really struggle to stay consistent with the weight loss that you want to see. You struggle to stay consistent with your plan. You fucking struggle to stay consistent with your word, because what you said you were going to do first thing in the morning was, not stuff your face with chocolate, but then what you find yourself doing at night is stuffing your face with chocolate. So this is the conversation that needs to be had. And this is, the cream of emotional eating. This is what it's all about. It's that you have this desire, this intention to do quote unquote better. You want to do better. You desire to do better so badly. You can see yourself doing better. You fucking wake up every morning, you're like, today is a mud day and I'm doing so much better than I did yesterday, because yesterday was clearly a shit show because you would have stuffed your face. And now you had promised yourself yesterday, you had said, well, tomorrow's going to be so much better. It's going to be amazing. It's going to be incredible. And I'm going to make all these sweeping changes tomorrow. But today I can't. Today I'm in too much pain. I'm too tired. I already ate a cookie earlier today and 3 breadcrumbs, and that's fucked up everything. So I'm just going to eat. And let's start here. First of all, that is a massive case of, what the fuck is it called? That's right. Okay, I remember. It's called horizon thinking. Horizon thinking, and you've probably heard me speak about this before, but for those of you in the back who have never heard this before, horizon thinking is when you think that there's this better version. The very short, explanation is you think there's a better version of you that's going to show up tomorrow. There's a better version of you. She's just over there on the horizon, and she's going to show up in place of your sorry tired ass. She's going to show up tomorrow. The you that you're feeling and experiencing right now, the one who wants to eat, the one who can't seem to stick with a plan, the one who really wants to move their body but also can't be fucked moving their body, that version of you, she's going to just dissipate tomorrow. She ain't going to be there. And who's going to show up in her place? Horizon you. This horizon you is like, you think about it, when you see like a sunset or something, or the sun rising just over there on the horizon, it's glowing, it's fucking magical. You think pixies are sparkling and dancing around over there. It's like a whole cabaret is happening of magical shit is going on there on the horizon. And you think that there is a version of you that is equivalent to that, and she's going to show up in place of your sorry tired ass tomorrow. That's mistake number 1. Now, let me tell you this. Here's the very best part. I fell victim to horizon thinking like multiple times in the last week. Multiple times. I spoke about this with all the clients inside of my F to Scale membership. We talked about it on the live call this week, that, some of you know it's been a really challenging time over the last month. I had basically made this big song and dance about, I'm going to start 100 days of, I don't even know what the fuck I was really doing. I said, I'm going to do Project 100 Days, and I'm going to show myself what's actually possible if I just would go all in one time in my life for 100 days. If you scroll back just a few episodes, you'll hear me like carrying on like a lunatic about Project 100 Days. It's going to be so fucking great. And I probably got about 2 days in before I'm quite sure there would have been some kind of food disaster or some kind of food emergency, and I just had to eat something. But, I share the whole thing. It's over on my Insta. If you're not following me over there, it's at Kylie_Pax, and you'll find me, and the whole journey is unfolding over there in my stories and on my page. But this is what I said. I'm going to do Project 100 Days, and I'm just going to go all in, like really use my eating codes to the max, 100% for 100 days. And I'm going to shop at the gym. And it was mainly about the gym. I want to see how I could transform my body in 100 days. That was the trigger for me. I've been to the gym multiple times in my life, and there's nothing wrong with the gym. The gym itself is not a trigger. It's just that I had the workout coach that was giving me my programs at the time also really wanted me to follow these particular macros that he had for me. And I was like, fuck you, dude. You literally don't know who you're talking to. I am an emotional eating coach. I'm not fucking doing that. Like, I'm not doing that. That will not work for me. Not that the macros won't work for me. I'm sure they would have worked fucking amazing. But I can't do that. That's going to trigger every old emotional eating and dieting hell wound that I've ever had, that I've worked on and healed all my little emotional eating broken bones over the years. And it's just going to re-snap everything again. I'm going to end up in fucking triage, needing head to toe, realignment. It's not going to work. He was like, bro, it's not what he said to me, but bro, you're not going to get the results if you don't do these macros. So I looked at them and I thought, well, how hard can it be? I've really had my shit together with emotional eating for years and years now. probably at least 10 years, heading towards 15. I've been really good with my emotional eating, like, as in I've been really good. As in it hasn't even been a problem for me. Probably 10 years, and most pertinently, I don't know, most obviously, especially in the last about 6 years, it's just really, it's not an issue. I can keep all the foods in the house, doesn't bother me anymore. All the chocolate, all the things that were my kryptonite, the chocolate, the cake, the chips, the cookies, the ice cream, all those things, and junk food basically. And it wasn't an issue. It could stay here until it rotted. I didn't care anymore because I had been working away and chipping away at this for so long. Well, all of that changed real fast when I tried to follow some macros. I thought I can do this. I just want to get my body how I want it to be. I want to build muscle. So he was like, well, now you got to eat a certain amount of fat, certain amount of carbs, and a certain amount of protein every single day. You got to hit these calories, which were too low for me. And this is how it has to be. I tried it. I've been trying it on and off for a couple of months. And I was almost going to say then I can't do it. That's not true. I could do it. But last night, I sat down with Phil and I said, I'm bowing out. I know that I paid money to this guy to help me build some muscle because all my muscle is gone from years of hardcore dieting. So I paid money to the muscle guy to help me get my muscle back, especially now being in my 50s. I know it's very important. But I said to Phil, I can't do it. I'm going to end up 100 million kilos heavier and a mental basket case. I had just finished stuffing my face with a chocolate muffin in the pantry, secretly, right? He could probably hear me in there because the light was on. It wasn't like I closed doors and like secret squirrel, but I didn't do it out in the open. This is emotional eating. I didn't do it out in the open in front of him so that he could see me and judge me. I stuffed my face with this enormous chocolate muffin, and then I was eating twisties. I didn't really like twisties, but I was eating them because the voice in my head was like, you better eat them now. If you don't eat them, someone else is going to get them and the kids will come back and all the twisties will be gone. I'm like, I didn't fucking like twisties, but couldn't stop eating them. And I just thought this has been the scene of the last 3 or 4 days. And I walked out of the pantry. I shut those twisties down. I said to Phil, babe, can I talk to you? You know, and he's on his phone. He's always on his phone, like, because that's how we are. And he's always hustling and working and doing deals and doing things. And I said, listen, I even understand you need to be on your phone. I said, but can I just like have your attention for 1 second? He's like, yeah, what's wrong? I said, I can't do this thing. I can't do this thing anymore, or I'm choosing not to do this thing anymore was the truth. I said, this is fucking me over. And if I continue to push and try and follow these macros, or AKA a diet, then I am going to end up in the psych ward and 100 million kilos heavier, because it's just every single cell in my body was screaming no. You can see the reaction was complete rebellion by my body. Eating chocolate muffin, it wasn't even super fresh. It wasn't even nice. It was a cheap ass one that Phil had brought home because it was reduced on special because it was going out of date. So this wasn't even a fucking good muffin that I could give myself some excuse and go, well, it was amazing. It was just worth every bite. No, it wasn't worth every bite. It was rebellion. Every part of my body was rebelling. And just saying, no, this is fine for other people. I have friends, close friends who are incredible bodybuilding sort of coaches, and they follow their macros to the T. I was just watching one of the girls, her stories on Insta earlier, and she's like, I get up at 2:30. I hit my macros. I do this. And I'm like, fuck me. I can barely drag my ass out of bed at 6:30 in the morning. And if anyone says the word macros to me again, I'm going to punch them in the neck. Like, I cannot stand this anymore. And if I ever needed like reconfirmation of how any kind of diet will fuck with your brain, that was it. The last 3-4 days was it. That was it. I'd been giving this guy's program a gentle go on and off for the last sort of month or whatever, but it was really the last few days that I knuckled down and said, okay, I'm really going to do it. And the last 3 days were a shit show for my eating. So I will share this with you because here's what I'm going to do about it. By the time I went to bed last night, I felt so, I don't even know what the word is. I felt so far gone. I felt hopeless. I felt there was no skerrick of hope in me that I could ever overcome this. It was as if I was the version of me from 10 years ago when I was deep in emotional eating. I felt like I'd slid all the way back down there. And as I was saying to the girls yesterday said to all of the clients inside of FTS, I'm like, you will feel when you have these food fuck ups, you will feel as if you slid all the way back down to where you started, as if you made no progress. You slide back down there so fucking fast, you get rope burn. That's how fast you slide. But I want to remind you, this happens to the best of us. I have been in such a good place with food for 6 solid years now, really good for solid 6 years, and, really doing pretty damn good for 10. And I felt over the last few days, all it took was someone to, really push me, and then me to go, all right, surely it'll be fine. A little bit of shit is just a little bit of shit. Somebody telling me, this coach telling me, just follow these macros, it's not that bad, it's only a little bit, is still just as dangerous for an emotional eater or somebody who has food and diet trauma as is going all in and, sort of cutting and doing all the things that they do for your stage comps and stuff. It's just as dangerous. Some people can hack it. My mind cannot, purely because I have been living in the world of torturous weight loss since I was under 10 years old. It's been way too long for me to think that I can even dabble with that shit and it not be a problem. I see very clearly now, it will always be an issue. But you know what? That doesn't fucking bother me because I have zero interest of ever going back to counting macros or doing some fancy diet or doing shakes or pills or anything. What this gave me was a crystal clear opportunity to revisit myself and my standards. There was no option here for me following macros. I thought I would be okay after 10 years. I was not okay. My brain was like, this woman is starving herself. Eat and eat everything you can find and do it right now. And that was the reaction that my body felt. I felt huge anxiety. I felt like, oh my God, I need to get this food back out of the house again. And I had to take that step back and think, what the fuck is going on? If you are struggling to stay consistent with your plan, whatever plan it is you're following, and just like, I'm literally rolling my eyes now if you're not inside of F the Scale with me, because there's a fucking reason why my program is called F the Scale, because this guy had me weighing in on the daily as well, and it just fucked with my head so badly. You don't need the bathroom scale to confirm what you already know is happening when you follow my eating codes. So here's the quickest way. If you want to speed up your weight loss, you want to start seeing results quicker or anything, the quickest, fastest way to do that is not to diet. You have to do what you would do in the way that you would do it if you were already where you think it is that you want to be. Does that make sense? Let me just say it for you again, one more time for the people in the back. The fastest way for you to start seeing results with your weight loss and break up with emotional eating is to begin doing what you know you would do in the way that you would do it if you were already the version of you that you think you want to be. So I honestly went to bed last night feeling pretty hopeless and despondent. I thought, this is fucked. I can't see any way that I will sort of quote unquote get back to where I was in my emotions, feeling good and really stable and everything around food. I didn't feel that last night, but when I woke up this morning, there had been a huge shift. The minute I decided to completely take any kind of attention to macros off the table, and I said to Phil last night, I'm just purely going back to my eating codes 100%. Because what I had tried to do, because this coach said to me, if you want to build muscle, you have to do this, X, Y, and Z. I said to Phil, you know what? I just don't choose to believe that. I don't choose to believe that that is true for me. For me, if somebody else chooses to believe it, it's true for them. I said, it is not true for me. My truth will be as it was prior to meeting this coach, in which I follow my eating codes. There are 5. They're so fucking simple. You can get them for free over on my website, kyliepax.com/free course. There's 4 videos. I break them down for you, exactly what I did initially to lose 20 kilos. Now, then I had to ask myself, do I want to be this muscly woman with all this muscle? No, the answer was no. So that's fine. I don't need to pursue this goal anymore. It was something I kind of thought I would always be interested in. I thought I would have a crack, but the cost for me was way too high. So no, I am no longer interested in that. I know that as I follow the eating codes, my eating will naturally resume its normal pattern. And this morning I got up and there was a couple of thoughts in my head, like here or there, like, oh gosh, there's still twisties in the cupboard. But rather than feeling panicked or anxiety about it, it was just a simple follow-up thought, like, yeah, and I can have them if I want. There's still blueberry muffins in the pantry. And I was like, yes, and I can have them if I want them, because that's the eating codes. That's how they work. I can have it if I want it. So now the question is that all my energy isn't going into resisting. Now my energy is just going towards focusing. So do I actually want it? I'm like, nah, fuck no, I don't want it, because I ate all that shit yesterday. It made me feel sick and da-da-da-da. So off I went to the gym at 6 a.m. or whatever. I toddled off there and I did a beautiful walk. I didn't force myself to do some shit that I didn't want to do. I did a walk. It was great. I did what I felt good about. I'm going to wrap it up with this today. If you are still trying to force yourself to follow a program or do something that you find utterly torturous, and that does include any form of movement, physical movement, if you hate it, you're going to be releasing so much cortisol into your body that's actually going to make you gain weight. We don't need that shit. The way I roll and always have rolled before I fucked with my own head was that you can trust your body. You always want to follow your path of least resistance. And I wasn't doing that over the last few days and the last couple of weeks. I was trying to follow a path with so much resistance that it backfired on me. The minute I gave myself space and peace and allowed myself to follow my path of least resistance, which is using the eating codes, as you know, again, they're so simple. I've said them before, but just in case you haven't yet dived over to the website, the first one is only eating when you're hungry. If you're not hungry, you don't eat. The second one is just deciding gently what it is that you want to eat for the day. Making a plan in the morning and staying in integrity. Like, yeah, I'm going to have this, or I'm going to make sure I have some healthy food at this meal, or whatever it is. The third code is only eating to 80% full. You stop eating at 80% full. If you can stop eating at 80% full, that's my magic weight loss code. You will automatically lose weight. It's guaranteed. There's no question about it. The fourth eating code is I show you how to deal with the emotional eating. And the fifth eating code is pretty much what this whole episode today has been about. And it's acting like the person you want to become. I did not want to be a crazed, stupid fuckwit around food. That was not who I wanted to become. That's how I was acting. And I was taking the steps each day that would align with that sort of person, that type of person. It took me a hot minute and probably some weight gain before I realized this isn't for me. It's going to be great for some people, but it isn't great for me. And the minute I gave myself permission to fully own that and use the system that I know has always worked and has worked now for thousands of women around the globe, that's the one that gave me the freedom to eat anything I want, anytime I want it, to exercise in any way that I want. I didn't have to meet certain criteria and do it every day for 15 hours or anything like that. Then I felt peace. Now this afternoon, it's like nearly 4:00 in the afternoon. I feel peaceful. I feel relaxed. Whereas yesterday at this time, I was fucking, grabbing onto the tabletop to try and stop myself from stuffing my face with food. Same girl, same situation, such a different outlook. So my darlings, if you're needing a bit of help with this, or you're feeling stuck, or you can relate to anything that I said today, head on over kyliepax.com/free course, or please come find me over on Insta and drop into my DMs. I will happily chat to you and help you and give you some direction over there as well. Until then, gorgeous ones, please remember, the only person who has the power to change your life is you. When you're trying to follow something that doesn't belong to you, it's not right for you, and it doesn't fit your lifestyle or your emotional capacity, you are not going to make it work. I don't care how hard you try and force it or how long you chip away at it for. It isn't going to work. But when you embrace who you are actually designed to be and who you actually desire to be in the future here, in this life, you want to experience the whole fullness of life. You don't want to be sitting at a restaurant with friends like, oh no, I can't have that piece of bread. I got to do low carb or some shit like that. When you can own all of it and realize that you can still lose weight at the same time, that's when you've got what it takes. I'm sending you tremendous amounts of love. I will see you again next week. Until then, gorgeous ones, bye for now. Thank you so much for tuning in. Remember to shimmy your butt over to kyliepax.com and join me inside of F the Scale so that you can stop emotional eating and start losing your weight now. You'll also find helpful notes and resources inside my past podcasts that will help you lose the weight without the BS. I'll see you next week.